everybody and welcome back to the Hardcore series. I hope you're all doing extremely well. Now, as you saw in those time lapses at the start there, I have been busy doing a few little bits of farms. Some of them are relatively self-explanatory, but I'm going to go over them anyway. So first off, we have this 3x3 cactus farm. It's nothing special, it just does exactly what it says on the tin. So just in case anybody doesn't know, cactus doesn't like to grow up next to things. So if you put these fence posts here, when it does grow, it realizes that there's something there and it automatically breaks and falls into the water stream and then into the chest. Because this is only 3x3, it's a relatively slow farm, but I'm not going to need huge amounts of green dye or anything like that, so it's not going to be too bad. The only other thing I can really think of that I'm going to need cactus for is, as and when I update this world to 1.20, there are going to be some camels, and I think they breed using cactus, if I'm not mistaken. Next over here, we have the cocoa bean farm. This is, again, relatively self-explanatory. I flip the switch here, and then these two observers come together, and then they create a 0-tick redstone pulse into this dispenser, which is full of bone meal. And then all I need to do here is just get a cocoa bean, put that in my offhand. And then it's very important, this bit, because what you need to do is look at the very edge pixel here, and that's the one that you're going to punch like that. When you put the next one on, and you'll notice that I was over here, I'm no longer punching the new bean. So when that then develops into a full bean, it will come into my line of contact. Then I'll break the fully developed one, and then so the process repeats. We are getting to nighttime, so I'll just very quickly show you how this works. So let's get some more cocoa beans. Oh, I had some there already. So we just position ourselves nicely here, and then hold down, left click and right click at the same time. And it is super efficient like that. And because you're catching some yourself and there's also some going into the hopper below, you'll never actually run out of cocoa beans. You're actually more likely to run out of bone meal. And then last but not least, we've got this here, which is a flower farm. Now, I've left it as grass for now, so you can kind of see that just how easy it is to change all this out. Because what I'm actually going to be doing is swapping all of this grass out for warped nylium. And you'll see why very shortly, but if I hit this block here, it's very loud, I'm afraid, but you do get all these different flowers. Now, if I was in an actual Now, if I was actually in a flower biome, I'd be getting lots of different types of flowers, not just poppies and dandelions. But because we're not actually using this for grass, we're not going to be using it for flowers, we're going to use it for warped nylium, I just wanted to show you how easy it is to take a farm like this and to transform it into something else. So, like I say, if we're using warped nylium, that means we're looking to get warped fungus, which in turn is going to get us warped wood. So now we've got this area cleared out, what we're going to do is put in the warped nylium. Now, I've only got 8 pieces of this, unfortunately, but that's not a problem at all because we're going to fill in the rest with netherrack. And then from there, we start bone mealing the netherrack blocks that are next to the warped nylium, and it creates more of it. And as you can see, when you actually bone meal one of the warped nyliums, you start getting warped fungus. So that's kind of giving away exactly what it is that we're doing here. Now, in addition to warped fungus, this farm actually produces a lot of other byproducts, stuff that we're not going to need right away, but it might be that in the future we need it for decoration. So with that in mind, I really don't want to waste any of this whatsoever. So what we're going to do is just create a very small storage system. Nothing automatic or anything like that, just very basic. And then we can start piling all the stuff into here that we don't need right away, but we can come back to at another time. So without further ado, let's jump in with this again, and we'll see how many warp fungus we get along with everything else. Okay, so that was running for about 30 seconds or so. And we've got a lot of stuff here. In fact, more than I can actually pick up. So these warp roots straight away, that's a huge amount of warp roots. So let's maybe fill half this chest with those, because it sounds like we're going to get a lot of this stuff. I might even need more than that. Okay, so grand total, we've got 2 stacks and 14 of the warp fungus and 7 of the crimson fungus. We've got 3 twisting vines, a few crimson roots, and I think that's about it. So all in all, why do I need this farm and why do I need so many warp fungus? Well, when it comes to building this mega base, which is over in that direction somewhere, I'm going to need a lot of warp stem because that's going to be part of the color palette for this build. So rather than constantly going to the nether, this is a really easy and fast way of getting more fungus and therefore more trees. So as I say, we've got the flower farm here, I've got this space down here, and this is where I'm going to put the warped stem farm. Now, I could quite easily build one of these super efficient farms that's dead easy to build, but the fact is I don't really want to be building massive farms in my starter area. If I'm going to be putting the time in and wanting to be building these really big, super efficient farms, I want to be building them inside my mega base when it comes to it. So for now, just to kind of get me started with the resources that I need, I'm just going to be building some of these smaller farms or slightly less efficient farms or manual farms. Now, luckily for me, this farm doesn't particularly need many resources, so I'm kind of just thinking through which ones I need. Bit of redstone dust, a leather, and I think that's really about it. I mean, doing 9x9 for the time being. Then I want the dispenser. I need to put the warped nyllium. I'm putting these at the back so that sometimes when the tree grows in the center here, and maybe even a few blocks around it, when a block goes on top of another block that's got something like warped nyllium on it, it can get rid of that and turn it back into just regular netherrack. So we don't want that. So that's why we have a few extras on the sides here as safety nets. So same method that I've done for the cocoa bean farm up there. So when you push this lever, the piston pushes the observer into the other observer and we get this 0 tick. Now, I don't have any sound for some reason, but I'm not too worried about that. Let's turn this into redstone dust. And then we just need to factor this into there. And now we've got this dispenser firing at 0 ticks. However, there's nothing in it. So nothing's actually coming out. So if I turn this off for now, and then we'll go get some bone meal. So now we've got the bone meal, we can fill that up. Our warped fungus, put this in our offhand, get our axe, put the first one down, activate it, and there we have. Okay, so this is a great example of what's just happened here. Now, you've got two choices. You can either just stand here and mine away the ones that are closest to you, or you can actually take the time to try and get up there and mine all of the wood yourself. Personally, I do think that going up there and trying to get it whilst you feel like you're losing out on materials, it is actually less efficient. So you've got to be really careful with this. So it's not taking too long for us to get just over a stack. Like I say, it's not the most efficient way of doing this. If I wanted to build a fully automatic farm, it would be very efficient and it'd be great. But again, it's not really something I'm looking to do just for now, but we'll see how it goes. Also, if you're not really liking all of the warp block that's here, you can just get a hoe, either an efficiency 5 or a regular one will do fine, and you can just mine this out super quick. Overall, I really do like this farm because it's easy to build, it's simple to use, it's somewhat efficient, but it's still a manual farm at the end of the day, so it's not going to be the best. That being said, I built this farm in season 1 of Remedy Craft, if you want to look back through the videos there, and I vaguely remember saying in there that this didn't actually come from the internet or anything like that. I didn't look at any tutorials on building this. This was something that came off the top of my head. I am, again, damn sure that somebody has come up with this before me. I'm not suggesting that I've invented it. It's just merely that I've, tried my hand at it, and this is what I came up with. This, however, is actually a design by Shulker Craft, a video that I saw of theirs. I will link to it in the description if I remember to. But yeah, all credit goes to them on this one. But yeah, the cactus farm and the cocoa bean farm, they're both my designs. So what are we going to be doing for the rest of this episode? Well, this is episode 9, and by now I would have expected to not be in diamond armor, if you know what I mean. And the way I've kind of got this planned is that episode 10 is going to be my last one on 1.19.4, so then episode 11 will be the first one in 1.20. So with episode 10 being the last one that's going to be in 1.19.4, there's a lot of farms and other things that I need to get prepped, ready for us to make a start on our mega build. So before that, I want to make sure that I'm fully kitted out because in 1.20, unfortunately, getting netherite is a lot more difficult, so I'm going to start doing it all now and get everything prepped, so when I do move over to 1.20, I'm going to have a slightly easier time of it all. So it's time to make up some fire resistance potions and head to the nether. So as I mentioned in the last episode, these shulkers here are full of sand and gunpowder, ready to make into TNT. So let me clear out my inventory, we'll get crafting some of this stuff, get some fire resistance potions on the go, and yeah, we're going to head to the nether and hopefully not die. Because I've never actually got netherite before, gone mining for ancient debris in hardcore before, so this is going to be incredibly scary. Okay, so I think we have everything that we need. We've got the strength potions, just in case we come across some enemies. Fire resistance potions, night vision potions, regeneration, and plenty of TNT. Okay, so when it comes to looking for ancient debris and mining for it, you really don't want to be in a basalt delta because basalt, unfortunately, has a higher blast resistance rate. So we want to try and find something that's full of netherrack, which would be a nether waste biome. Now, on my travels, I have seen before a nether waste biome in the southern direction, I think it was. So we're just going to head down our little path here and see if we can find it. So we've got nether waste here as well, which is really good. There was one over that side. Let's have a look over this side, actually. I mean, essentially, it's really any biome that isn't basalt delta. So whether it be nether waste or soul sand valley, it's absolutely fine. Definitely want to be keeping a fire resistance potion in my hotbar, because the last thing that I want is for me to go up in flames. All right, so we've got a really nice nether waste here. Oh dear. A Crimson Forest isn't great either because there's a lot of hostile mobs in that we've got to contend with, so you really got to be careful about the type of biome that you're really starting. We are going into new chunks, so this looks like it's another fortress. We'll definitely come across that at some point, but for now, let's head back. I don't want to be too far out if I can help it. See, oh, this isn't looking too bad actually. Like I quite like what we've got here. It's a pretty open area. Okay, let's give this a go. Let's give this a try. Why not? Oh, that's cheating. So again, we're just going to mine down to Y level 15. Hopefully not come across any lava on the way. Sod's Law. And in fact, actually, magma blocks might come in very handy at a later date. So I've got to be very careful that I don't hit lava. And again, I guess at this point I am getting a little distracted. Yeah, let's get back on track. We can come back to this at a later date. I'm not worried about it now. Okay, so now that we're down at Y level 15, we can make ourselves a little bit of a room. This can be our sort of base of operations, if you like. So from here, I'll put down my ender chest. We're going to put some actual chests down as well to kind of fill in all the junk. There's going to be a lot of netherrack and stuff that we're going to be blowing up. And I don't like to waste things because you never know when this type of stuff's going to come in handy at a later date. So it's always nice to have just random stores of things like that. Fire potion in hotbar. Let's put some TNT there as well. And we're essentially just going to mine into one direction for a while. Put some TNT down, then we can shoot it with our bow. And hopefully find some ancient debris. Whoa. That was scary. Oh, it didn't render in. Felt it in the bottom of my stomach. Now, I know I've said this before, but some people see the minimap that's in my top left corner as cheating, you know, because I can see the terrain that's around me. I know when certain things like lava is going to be and stuff like that, but I'm not looking at it too much, and I'm more concentrating on what I'm doing. But as you can see, we've got a very big lava lake coming up towards us, so we've pretty much reached our limit now. There we go. And that's fine, not a problem at all, because that is a pretty decent length tunnel, so we can just put our TNT down. Now, I'm not too fussy about it, but I try and sort of like maybe do 1 or 2 spaces, but I'm more about speed at this point, so I'll just like kind of head back and at random intervals. I just hit right click and it's somewhat evenly spaced. 1 or 2 blocks, absolutely fine with me. Yeah, I think that's about far enough back. And then, yeah, so for the very first time, let's blow the shit out of the nether. Doesn't look like we've found any just yet. See, now it's important that when your TNT is like that, we just put a block underneath it like that. Maybe even 2 if you're feeling spicy, but we want to make sure that it stays up there when it gets ignited. Why do I get the feeling that this is going to be like the diamonds all over again, where I just get sod all? Now, I do try to get rid of the lava as best I can, because the amount of times that I've actually just got rid of it and it's uncovered some ancient debris, and it's just not worth kind of risking leaving something like that. Ancient debris is rare enough as it is without having to leave it, you know, underneath some lava or something when you can easily get at it. So let's try again. Nothing so far, which is a shame, really. Oh, I see some up there and there. There we go. That's more like it. Fantastic. So it looks like we've got a single piece there. So let's get rid of some of this rubbish out of my hands that I don't need. And for our very first piece of ancient debris. There we are. Hidden in the depths. It does feel good when you get these advancements. I really do like the fact that they put something like that in the game. And again, always good to check around the ancient debris that you've just mined. Just to double check that you've not missed anything. Because again, that's another thing that I've fallen foul of before. I've gone back and checked areas, things afterwards, and it just so happens I missed one. Okay, so let's keep this going. I spy a bit more. Again, got to make sure that you're careful and checking throughout the whole thing and make sure you're not missing anything. I know that there's some mods that you can get that kind of makes things like ancient debris stuff stand out, as in when you do uncover it, not when it's actually inside the walls, because that's obviously that's X-ray mods. That is cheating. That is never going to happen with me. Just the one piece. Alas, no more in this tunnel, which is a shame, but we can come back for some of these resources as and when we need them. Okay, so that's one tunnel down. Let's start on some more. It's always nice when you find some in your tunnel. Oh, we've got some nice bits of cheddar there. So we've managed to collect 41 ancient debris, which is a really nice amount. Admittedly, I would have liked it to have just been 40 because, you know, even numbers and things like that. But unfortunately, we got an extra one. But that'll just go into the stores just in case I have to get more ancient debris at a later date. So we have 41 ancient debris that will smelt down into netherite scrap. And then we will get approximately 10 netherite ingots out of that because there is 4 netherite scrap plus 4 gold into 1 netherite ingot. 10 netherite ingots should be definitely enough to do all of my tools and all of my armor, plus 1 or 2 on the side just in case I decide to want to do some more of those armor trims in 1.20. But I'm just going to jump into free cam right now so you guys can see the devastation that I've made here. So I think there was 6 tunnels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's quite a lot of TNT that I've used, although I do still have quite a lot left, which is good, in case I decide to do some more in the future. There's all this area here, all this empty space that I can then blast out, so there's still plenty of room in order to get some more ancient debris, should I need it. But for now, we're going to head back, and we're going to get all of this smelted down. As you can see, we've got some netherite scrap going here. We've also got some gold ingots as well. So these two will go together nicely to create those netherite ingots. Okay, so there we have the netherite scrap, which is fantastic. We can then grab some of the gold ingots, find a crafting bench, and we can turn these into netherite ingots. It is a pain to get these, and yeah, very expensive, but it's better to do this now in 1.19 than in 1.20 because obviously you've got the patterns that go with it. It's just a lot more involved and in depth and a lot more expensive to make netherite armor. So like I say, I'm doing it now so we don't waste time in the future. Now let's head over to a smithing table, which I know I have 1 or 2 in my villager trader hall. Here we go here. Now, when it comes to my pickaxes, I always do the silk touch one as a netherite pick, but then I'll leave the fortune one as a diamond one. That way I know which is which. So for the first time in this hardcore series, let's get netherite. Oh, that does feel good. And now to do our armor as well. That does look and feel good. I much prefer the look of the helmet as well on the netherite armor because it really comes around the face and it kind of looks a little Spartan in a weird way. I quite like it. All I need now is the quiff that goes on top. Now, obviously, I don't have a chest piece, so I don't need to use that. There is a mod that I can get where you can combine a chest piece and also the elytra. So then it's called the armored elytra. I've not put it on this world so far. I didn't know if I was going to want to do that, if it's cheating or not. But you guys let me know what you think. I would love to have it just so it's a bit more security, so that then I'm less likely to die. But the question is, does it take away from the authenticity of this being a hardcore world? You guys let me know in the comments. But that's about all I have time for in this episode. Thank you very much for watching. We managed to get quite a lot done in this episode. We got a few farms done. And as you can see below me, we've got the warped stem farm as well, because this is one of the resources that I'm definitely going to need for when it comes to building the mega base. In the next episode, we definitely have a few more farms that we really need to get done. So that's going to be a very farm orientated episode. And then after that, we're going to update to 1.20 and then make a start on that mega build. Thank you once again for watching. I really do appreciate it. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.